Hi, welcome back everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and I've got a really good video for you today. And I'm going to put up my beautiful new Wilson Staff model iron. So many of you know recently I've just put these in the bag and I absolutely love them. And I'm going to put it up against the TaylorMade P7TW Iron, the Tiger Woods iron. So two blades, two very classic irons. Obviously one that I absolutely love with the Wilsons, got them in my bag. And I'm putting it up against arguably maybe the best player of all time in terms of Tiger Woods. So very interesting sort of comparison here. Both 7-iron, both blades. We've got GC quad on the floor, so we'll measure some numbers as always and see which one is maybe performing better or which one I sort of prefer. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Wilsons. So many of you will have seen my review video of the Wilson Staff model iron, new iron from Wilson, and that, you know, as you can probably see from the video, I adore them hugely. So they went straight in the bag for me. So very, very classic looking iron, feel fantastic. The noise, the sound, the feel, everything is really ticking a box. Yes, they're not the most forgiving irons, but they are, I wouldn't say they're too difficult to hit really. I don't know whether it just makes me sort of focus a little bit more, knowing it's a blade, knowing that I've got to hit the middle of the golf club. I mean, my ball striking's pretty decent, so I don't venture massively from the centre of the club face. It feels stunning. Love the flight of it. It's nice and neutral. Yeah, that's a nice shot, lovely. Nothing better is than hitting that blade 7-iron, getting that lovely muted sound, that lovely soft feel, then it just plops quite nice and close to that pin. So that was a little bit clean, that particular shot. Slightly low in the club face, but it's still done all right. So it's not massively unforgiving. Obviously there's more forgiving ones on the market, but the look as you sit it down by the ball, that beautiful polished back section, that little sort of throwback from the sort of early Wilson irons with that sort of crimping around that hose, all those diamond sort of shape that sort of frame the grooves and that heel and toe section, just give it that very sort of old school classic look, but just that little slight modern sort of twist. Slightly up that right side, but not much. Yeah, just dropped off a little bit of distance there. Just left that face a tiny bit open on that shot. Just pulled up a little bit of carry distance. So the loft of this 7-iron for the Wilson is 34 degrees, and the TaylorMade is 35. So it is 1 degree weaker on the TaylorMade. Slightly pulled, going to catch that left edge of the green, just about hanging on there. Okay, so there's 5 shots hit with the Wilson Staff model. Beautiful iron, classic look, feels amazing. But let's move into the Tiger Woods iron, P7TW. We'll hit some shots with that and then look at some numbers. Okay, so Tiger Woods iron, the P7TW. Again, beautiful looking golf club, all built to his eye, his spec, exactly what he wants to see behind that golf ball in terms of the shaping of the blade, how it feels, the window that ball sort of launches out at. Again, I've done a full review of these on my channel, so I'll put a little link. You can go and watch the more in-depth review of this particular iron. And it is a 7-iron, it's 35 degrees, so it's not strong. It's more that weak loft, or more of the original old style lofts in a way. Because Tiger's really looking for ultimate control. He's obviously got some power there. He doesn't really need to get that distance gaining club, but he just wants ultimate control. He wants that ball to come out through that certain window, hit that exact yardage this 7-iron goes, with a certain amount of stopping power, etc. So he wants to see or build a club around a flight that he actually wants to see. Okay, again, putting that down with the golf ball, it's beautiful. It's a very good looking golf club. It's a little bit of a different shaped to the Wilson. It's a little bit more of that sort of, it looks like more flat top line there, a bit more of a, you can see a little bit more of a toe section there. So I think what Tiger liked with this is quite a long blade length. from heel to the toe, maybe the most sort of traditional bladed irons. I've just left that face a little bit open, just pushed that, so it has crept up a bit higher, but again stops really quick there. And a little bit of a different feel there against the Wilson. It's I think I mentioned this in the review, it's a little bit more of a harder feel. Even though it's forged and you think this is going to be buttery soft, it's got that little bit of that harder feel. We've got that tungsten weight, which is a harder, heavier material, right behind the sweet spot here, which again, this is all Tiger's preference. He wants that sort of harder feel. Or that sort of, you know, that sort of explosive sort of feel, not explosive, wrong word there, but that harder feel really with that tungsten weight behind it, as opposed to not having it there. So again, it's all around his exact requirements, what he wants to feel and sound. There's my compensation there, so straight away there, not as accurate with the TW iron, just reacting from that first one I've just left out there. I've just caught that club face up with that one and just pulled it left edge. Again, just pull that fraction up that left side. It's not quite getting that accuracy at the moment. Let's try and get one a little bit straight. I've got to work that swing path a little bit more. I just feel like I'm just not closing that face down as much. Definitely a different feel to those. It's just struggling to control that face to path a little bit with these, to be honest. But the the feel of the club face, as I say, is very different. It's a little bit more of that. It feels a little bit more solid in a way. Again, maybe that little bit of tungsten behind there just gives you that slightly harder feel, which makes it feel a little bit more solid as you hit it. That's nice. It's a lovely flight to it. So some of these just not quite flying as far as you'd expect, so you've got a little bit weaker on that loft. That's a good strike. Definitely that higher flight there with that loft. And maybe just not quite as accurate with that against my Wilsons. I must admit, I think as a look, I mean, as much as these look absolutely stunning, the Tiger Woods irons, I do prefer the shape of the Wilsons and the way the head shape. Again, that's very personal. Obviously, Tiger's got these built to exactly what he wants to sort of look down at, but that can be different to the next person, can't it? But I think because it's got the TW stamped on the back, you got to think, it's Tiger's irons. They've got that special feel about them, haven't they? Okay, let's look at some numbers and see how those two irons are performing against each other. Okay, so looking at the numbers there, we've also got the Wilson on the top, P7TW on the bottom. So look at ball speed, 118.7 against 117.1. So a little bit more with that. With a Wilson, probably expect that 1 degree stronger on that loft. You're probably going to get that slightly stronger ball speed, as we can see, and obviously launching a fraction lower there by sort of about ½ a degree in the launch angle, again probably due to that loft really. Spin number there 6760 with the Wilson and 7219, so much more spin with the TW iron as you'd expect. You know, again 35 degrees, you're going to get this higher spin sort of number there really. I think the ones where I just leave out to that right a little bit more, you see that spin number just creeps a bit higher than the ones that maybe just go a fraction to the left. So we see that sort of between 200 and 500 rev difference of spin. Again, that's more my face to path changing that. But as an average, 7.2 against 6.7, again, probably the lofts are splitting those more than anything. Peaking out 33 yards each and 165 carry average with the Wilson against the 161 with the TW iron. So a little bit less ball speed, a little bit more spin, just gives that 4 yard difference of distance. Right, okay guys, so no real surprises there between those two irons in the performance. Two very classic irons, obviously weaker lofts. Not a lot you can really do with the technology in a bladed iron. Having said that, we've got that little bit of tungsten in the TW, we've got that sort of milling on the club face with the staff, but again, there's not huge amounts you can do in the head to try and sort of bump performance out. Very much aimed at that control, the feel, the consistency of the flight. So as expected, probably not a great deal of difference between these two clubs. That 1 degree probably splitting the numbers more than anything there. However, the looks and the feel are quite different between those two irons, in my opinion. I think the looks, I much prefer the look of the staff, even though I do like the look of the P TW. It's a great looking club, but I just love that staff model iron. It just sits, and the shape of it is beautiful, and the feel is much softer. So let's say with that tungsten behind that TW iron, just gives that a little bit firmer feel. It feels really solid, so it's not a bad feel at all. It's just a solid feel, but just that little bit more buttery soft with the Wilsons there. So they're just going to tick it as much as, you know, they're Tigers irons, you know, and I grew up in Tiger era. You know, it's just a great player, isn't he? So it's just trying to look past that and thinking, well, I actually just prefer the look and the feel of that Wilson. So interesting. Let me know your comments down below, though. Always interested to hear your thoughts, as always. So fire your comments down below. What would you go for? Obviously, it's a price difference here by quite a bit. I think probably half the price of the Wilsons against the TW. So maybe that's obviously got to come in there. But some of you guys might be buying TW just to literally put above the fireplace. Oh, you might not even be playing with him. So again, I'd love to hear your thoughts, as always. So putting price aside, what would you be choosing? TW, the Tiger effect, or a little bit of the Wilson, slightly underdog maybe in a way? So comment down below. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate you watching as always. If you're watching, you haven't subscribed, please just hit that subscribe button. It allows me to get much more content out to you guys, gets me equipment early to review, to then get it out for you to sort of view and watch. So please support me, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, so if you are subscribed, as soon as the video comes out, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it, so you won't miss a thing. Follow social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter. Hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.